How about now? Is that good? Hopefully that's good. Dead on. Great. Anyway, how are you? That's just part of that part of that awesome quality that I bring you guys night to night. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's this microphone. I'd like to get it replaced. The mic is good. The sound quality is good. It has always had a connection problem with the back USB port. I have blue tack, like a giant wad of blue tack shoved in to the shield around the USB plug, the male USB plug, and then I shoved it in there. And yet, if it gets bumped even slightly, I lose the connection, and I had no control over it. Sometimes I have to move the boom mic. Sometimes I want to move it closer or further back, or I'll just lean over and bump into it. You guys have seen it 1,000 times, and it cost me. And today it cost me before the show started. So my apologies. But anyway, I, of course, am your happy, humble host, Bill Sylvie, a.k.a. the Dungeon Delver. To the best of my knowledge and the knowledge of science at large, I am the only one, and that's probably best for you guys that I am the only one. But anyway, so what's going on? We are on the cusp of the eve of the dawn of the beginning of the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, the GUAC, as we call it. And if you don't know what that is, it is a convention. It is a virtual convention. No travel required. Cost to you is $0 unless you want merch. And it's happening this weekend. Now, I've had a few game masters cancel sessions, which, if this was a con with hundreds of attendees and dozens of game masters, would be less of an issue. See, my intention was to maybe do like a demo of Dungeon and a demo of Space Hulk, because I didn't want to step on game masters running their RPGs, but we have less game masters now. So 2 things to address this. I was going to basically close registration on Wednesday. That is at midnight tonight. I was going to say no more registrations for game mastering. Registration to play really through the weekend. You could hop on and sign up and play. So what I'm doing is I'm extending out to midnight tomorrow night. Midnight tomorrow night. If you want to run a game session at the GUAC, there are now openings. And to also address it, I am not merely running a couple of quirky board game demos. In fact, probably instead of playing Hero Quest and or Dungeon and or Space Hulk, I will likely run a couple of RPG scenarios. I'll run some AD&D and possibly some AD&D. So those of you who are waiting to get into games, there will be games to play. And, and let me tell you what, don't be afraid to step up. If you wanted to flex on running some D&D or something, this is your chance. You step right up. There's time. There's plenty of time. Reach down, find your inner dungeon master, and run a game. Thank you, Doomsword. Thank you very much for the super. I do appreciate that. So there's some cool things that are going on too that I want to tell you about. Of course, we're having an artist alley on Saturday afternoon for a few hours. Tracy Lesh will be here. Tracy will have signed art prints for sale. We're going to work on that mechanism. Whereby you can buy art prints created by Tracy Lesh. And we do enjoy Tracy. He's a great guest, and he's going to be here. And if you don't know who Tracy is, he's going to talk about how he got started working for TSR. His story, as it were, of creating art for arguably the first standalone Dungeons and Dragons module never published. His creation of the visual design for the Roper and the Mind Flayer and things he's done since. Now, I bring up the Mind Flayer for something specific. Tracy, now this is not affiliated with my show. This does not line my pockets, not a single bit, but I think you guys should be aware of this. All weekend long, from the start of the convention on Thursday afternoon until 6 o'clock Sunday evening, and I will set up a special channel in the Discord. You must be registered for the con. You must be participating at the con. There will be a Funko Pop, Mind Flayer Funko Pop auctioned off. It is autographed and it has a certificate of authenticity provided by Tracy Lesh. The bidding will start at $50. This is not for me. This is not for my show. Tracy asked if he could do this, and I'm perfectly okay with it because a lot of cons have art auctions and merch auctions and that kind of thing. So I said, heck yeah, let's do that. I'll post up some pictures of it. You guys will be able to see what it looks like. And you might say, well, I can get a Mind Flayer Funko Pop. They're kind of hard to find, is my understanding. And you're not going to find one with Tracy's signature on it. So bid early and hopefully bid often. Hopefully there'll be a hot bidding war going on. And you can throw your hat in the ring to get a piece of Tracy Lesh inspired merch with his autograph on it, certificate of authenticity. It's going to be very cool. And again, when the con kicks off, I'll link this in the Discord. You can come in and we'll have a strict bidding only auction area. I won't say, hey, don't do that. I won't say, hey, please take this discussion elsewhere. If I see something that's not a bid, I'll delete it. You'll just put in bids in whatever increments. And I'll let you guys know if Tracy's accepting like penny increments. So, somebody that's like, it's not moving, I'll bid $75.01. He might, because it's his to sell. And I said I would do it for him. So we're going to do that. For con goers, It's for con goers. All right. So register on Warhorn. I hope you're playing. I hope you're at the con. I hope you're actually doing stuff at the con. But it will be open for convention attendees. So that's a cool thing that's going to happen. So I will put my name in the game grid. What's happening tomorrow? Not show related, but con related. What's happening tomorrow is I am going to be setting up the grid, a digital frontier. I will be setting up the game grid, and I will go through and I will assign rooms at times. I'm not going to change the names of the rooms. You're if you're on Warhorn, you'll see it. I'll post up an announcement. I'll say, Doomsword's D&D game is in room 1 from this hour to this hour, and just because we'll have games running in parallel, and you might not be in those rooms. So that's how that is going to be done. And I hope that I do it right. Again, this thing stands or falls on me, guys. So I hope I do everything right. I have boxes of art prints from Jack Photon. We are going to have a drawing Thursday night. We are going to have a drawing. I'm going to take all of the con registries' names, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to print them out, and I'm going to cut strips, and then I'm going to have my hat. I'm going to have my DM's hat, and I'm going to draw names until I run out of prints. I don't have the prints over here in any special kind of order. You'll get the print that I pick up and show, or the book, or whatever. There's no favoritism. There's no, I was drawn first, I should have gotten, It'll be the order in which I pick up the stuff. And so you will have a chance to win art. I will reach out to Frog God tomorrow, and I will get the URL for your Frog God freebies, your Frog God swag. When you walk into the con and you pick up your swag bag, you'll just grab some Frog God freebies and you'll throw it in there. We've got some stuff coming from Hellabard, who are the sponsors of tonight's live stream, I should point out. The sale of the 5e print stuff that I was pushing there for a good couple of months, that sale is over. I hope you got a chance to get some good deals. I hope you jumped in on that. But Hellabard Games is the sponsor of this live stream, and they've also got some stuff coming that I will be doing drawings for and giving out for you guys to enjoy. So all of that is happening in the next couple of days. And then Thursday we kick off. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the grid. I don't know if anybody's got anything going on Thursday. I may run AD&D on Thursday, but if you're on a waiting list, if you're waiting for a seat to open, and you just want to play AD&D, like you're not like jonesing to get in on Doomsword's games, which have a cash prize, I should add. What are your prizes, Doomsword? Tell us in the chat what your prizes are. Or if you don't want to, if you want to say it's a secret, then just say it's a secret, and we won't proceed. But so yeah, there's ample stuff for you to get. There may be, I don't know that this is the case. Don't hold me to this. Don't be like, but you said. I still have to look through things. But there may be enough stuff that you guys get that everybody gets something. I don't know. But it is a pile of stuff. And guys, this is not like, well, I could have bought that myself. the stuff that Jack Photon's got, this is like handcrafted. This is, trust me, this is not, I could have gone to the FLGS, I could have scooped this up off of eBay for $5 kind of stuff that's coming from Jack Photon. This is like a one, and I don't mean like, well, I'll do the GUAC next year and I'll get a crack at it then. This is one shot. You've got to get this stuff. This is rarities. This is going to be something that you're going to be like, I want that framed. I want to keep that. And I hope you do, and I hope you will, and I hope it's something that you like. $25 per session, $50 for the best overall players across all sessions. Well, there you go. You know, I mean, that's a pizza right there. That's, you know, that's good money from where I'm sitting. So ample opportunities to win stuff and drawings for some really cool art. Guys, don't miss out on this. Don't miss out on a chance to do this. Hoping to find a second place prize for each. You have enough. You have enough shrink wrapped Holmes Basic sets. Yeah, right. Giveaway certificates too. So guys, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Rich, thank you. Rich likes pizza. Who doesn't like pizza? Pizza's delicious. So if you're not from Florida, well, I don't know. Wherever you might be in the world, maybe you're fortunate enough to have a Publix. It's an amazing grocery store. I love Publix. And recently, like, we've stopped ordering pizza out because I get Publix pizza dough, and I make pizza here at home with Publix pizza dough. And it's $4 for the pizza crust dough, and they've got it where it's like folded over like into quarters, and I just bring it fold it out, poke it with a fork, top it, bake it, you know? And it's so much better than takeaway. It's so much better than takeaway. My favorite, the kids like a white pizza, like a no sauce pizza. So that gets like mozzarella and Romano and feta and parm. For me and the missus, it's, you know, your standard layer of sauce. Now she just likes this simple thing. She likes a little bit of pepperoni, just a little bit, not a huge amount. Little bit of pepperoni. We do mushrooms, sometimes portobello, sometimes white mushrooms. Feta cheese, heavy sprinkling of parm, mozzarella, and then she just likes the pepperoni. Now, over on my side, I go crazy. That's some garlic, some onion, fennel, what else? Oregano. And I'll put I'll put the feta cheese down. I'll put the mozzarella down, and then black olives. Sometimes I do it kind of a little margarita style. You know, I've got some diced tomato, onion, green pepper, and red pepper, and I'll sprinkle that over there before I put the cheese down. Bake it right up, and it is delicious. Now, I don't know if you're baiting, Slycanthrope. I don't know if you're baiting, but artichoke on pizza is not bad. It's not my favorite thing. It's a little too, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But I don't hate it. I'm not like, ugh. I've had it before, and it's not bad. Anchovies, I could take or leave. They're a little salty. You know, they kind of bring a little too much salt to it, but flavor-wise, they're fine. Gorgonzola, now there's a man of class and distinction. Yeah, feta cheese on pizza is delicious. Fibrous, that's it, fibrous. Slightly bitter. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I like spinach on pizza. I do. I like spinach on pizza. People are going to unsub from the channel if I say this. I'll take the risk. I do like pineapple on pizza. I like barbecued chicken on pizza. I kind of towed the line a little bit on whether or not one day I want to try pulled pork on pizza, but I think that's almost too savory. You know what I'm saying? No, and I get it. I mean, it's a divisive thing, Kabuki. It's a very divisive thing. The thing with spinach on pizza, my God, you've got to squeeze it out. I hate wet pizza. Now, I don't have to have that. Some people are like, you know, I want that crust as hard as steel and as thin as a sheet of paper. I want a cracker crust. I don't have to have that, but just, you know, pizza that you go to pick it up and it's soup, that's just like no good. Jeremy, unsub. I lost a viewer. What have I done? Hey, Jeremy. But yeah, a wet public sub is great. You get like you get a yeah, you got to spin it. You got to spin it or wring it out. You know, you get the block, you thaw it, you microwave it, steam it, whatever. Just wring it out. Just get it in paper towels and just wring it out as hard as you can. But yeah, no, a Publix Supreme, or yeah, I'd say a Supreme. You get the spicy mustard on it, a little bit of lettuce. Ask them to dice the tomato on white. It's got to be on white. Or 7 grain. 7 grain's not bad, but I reserve the 7 grain for the holiday sub and for the chicken tender sub. But back onto the combo. Load it up with oil and vinegar. I want a sub you can eat with a straw when it comes to that. Load it up with oil and vinegar. And oregano and black pepper and salt. Cheese, a good sharp cheddar. Like, I don't want no mild cheese on my sub that it's, you know, oh, I want a creamy provolone. No, I want a cheddar. I run the risk of it cutting my throat when I'm bringing the sub up for a bite. That's how sharp I want my cheddar cheese. Dry subs are just RVs. Does that mean re-entry vehicles? like nuclear bombs come out of ICBMs and but anyway, yes, subs and pizza, good times. Now we'll talk some D&D in a minute, and we're playing D&D at 9 anyway. But thank you, Slycanthrope. But the holiday sub that they do, and it's only available during the holidays, by which I mean from like Thanksgiving until like January 3rd, because those are the only times that they have the cranberry relish. They have a cranberry relish that is to die for. And the holiday sub is smoked turkey breast, Gruyere cheese on a 7 grain with mayonnaise and bacon and the relish. It is so good. It is so unbelievably good, and I love them. And they're just fantastic. Jeremy says, we talking about that Submersible? Yeah. So transitioning from sub sandwiches to the Submersible, have food handy when you talk to Uncle Bill. That's right. There's people out there. Oh. So there's a really cool YouTube channel. If you care about Navy technology, any world's Navy technology, this guy runs a YouTube channel called Subbrief. And he is an ex-U.S. Navy submariner. He knows from whence he speaks. But he talked about this thing today. They showed the building of this sub. Holy shit. If you put a gun to my head and said, get in that sub and go in the ocean to Titanic sink depths, or I pull this trigger, I'd tell you to pull the trigger. Five inches of carbon fiber wrapping, and like an inch steel pressure hull. Carbon fiber doesn't flex. You don't have a chance to know that something is about to go wrong, which I guess would be a blessing if you were at 8,000 feet, 9,000 feet. It shatters. Boom. 3 milliseconds. That's 3/1000th of a second. Your nervous system ceases to exist before it experiences any pain. So yeah, but go check out Subbrief's video he did on it today. And let's be 100% realistic. They're not bobbing around in the water. All right. They're not A-OK. Just like, the radio's not working. I guess we'll just keep motoring around. They're not. That thing, I would not, I told Kyle, I was talking to Kyle about this. I would not have gotten in that sub and taken it to the bottom of a tank of water at a fairgrounds. Forget the ocean. And here's the thing. There's 20 bolts that hold the main hatch on from the outside. Let us assume for a second that their radio is broken and that they're bobbing just a few feet under the surface. They were able to blow enough ballast and they're now a few feet under the surface. If they don't find them in the next 20 hours, they're as good as gone anyway, because those bolts are bolted on from the outside. There's no blow the hatch. There's no open and we'll swim out. Imagine that. 10 feet, 5 feet, 3 feet, a foot, just bobbing at the surface, and you can't get out. Ugh. It is Subbrief. Guy does a great channel. He's done some let's plays of some naval warfare games. He talks about he talks about naval history. He talks about current Navy events, not just the U.S. Navy, but world navies. Hello, Lightmain. Just a steel coffin. Yeah, there's a I made a comment on Subbrief's video. I said that, this is a horrible time to LARP the game Iron Lung. Which, if you don't, Iron Lung is a horror video game. It's made by the company that made the retro boomer shooter Dusk. And basically, I'm not going to go into the game's lore. It's fascinating and it's horrifying. but you're on an alien planet and you are tasked with taking a submersible of questionable quality deep into an abyssal trench on this alien planet, on an ocean that, for all intents and purposes, is made of human blood. It's not a happy game at all. It's going all right, Lightmane. Yes, Liberty Bell 7 was a Mercury capsule piloted by Virgil I. Gus Grissom. While he was being... Now, understand something. A Mercury capsule, like the cockpit space you have in a Mercury capsule, is somewhat less than the width of these two monitors and my chair in terms of size. Like this right here, the width I've got there and the height of my chair and a little space over my head and a little space at my feet is how much space you have. If you've got a compact, like a sports compact car, sitting in the driver's seat is more space than you would have. And if you climbed into, or rather, when Grissom climbed into the Liberty Bell, there's an emergency switch that the astronaut can slam his fist against and blow the door off. And what people contended for years, and Grissom vehemently denied, was that he blew the hatch, that he panicked because the capsule was tipping over and nearly rolling over upside down, which, because of its buoyancy bags, it can't roll over upside down. And he knew that. Grissom knew that. But they claimed that he panicked and blew the hatch off. He claims that it was a malfunction. Now, some people say that, well, Grissom was persona non grata in NASA. Before the Apollo fire, Gus Grissom was going to be the first man on the moon. The first human footprint on the moon would have been made by Gus Grissom. Well, here's the thing. When they gave Gus Grissom his physical, the knuckles of his right hand or his left hand, whichever side the switch was on, his knuckles weren't busted. He didn't have a big silver dollar sized bruise on the back of his hand. And you have to open the hatch, you have to slam your hand on that switch so hard that it leaves a bad bruise on your hand. And one of the last Mercury astronauts, when they picked his capsule up out of the water and flew it to the aircraft carrier, made a point of blowing the hatch off. Not opening it, not waiting for it to be opened normally, but he blew the hatch off to show that his hand would have been badly bruised, that Grissom would have been injured. But for years, everybody said, oh, well, Grissom was a coward and, you know, he tried to get out. He did not. The guy who wrote Space, was it Michener that, was it Space or was it, no, Tom Wolfe, The Right Stuff. You know, Wolfe basically cast Grissom as like, you know, this irascible, unlikable coward, and that's not the case. Everybody liked Gus Grissom. Despite the loss of Liberty Bell 7, they were going to send him to the moon first. And when they finally got the capsule back in the early 2010s, when they got it up out of the water, guess what? The safety latch on the switch was broken. Not broken from firing, broken off. somebody in the White Room, in the process of putting Grissom into his pilot seat, caught the switch and broke it. It's a miracle that it didn't blow at any point on his suborbital flight until he hit the water. So yeah, when they found a ship, the Liberty Bell 7 at the bottom of the ocean, yes, they discovered, nope, he wasn't a coward. Unfortunately, now I think, and I could be wrong about this, but unfortunately they couldn't find the door. The door would have sealed, no pun intended, would have sealed the deal. But they couldn't find the door, so it was great that he was exonerated, and he was an American hero. But anyway, just regarding that sub, I mean, I can't. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. See, that's something that creeps me out. I remember playing Half-Life the first time. There's a section of Half-Life called Questionable Ethics, and in it, I always thought this was kind of weird and interesting that Black Mesa, like when you get into the service areas of Black Mesa, it's really fallen apart. I mean, and the implication is that Black Mesa, of course, was a missile launch facility, right? But the thing is gigantic. It's not like, 3 silos and an LCC and an MCC. So you spend forever running around this place, but there's a room where you find this ichthyosaur, they call it. It's a giant predatory creature. You'll actually encounter one before then. At least I think it's before then, or maybe it's after then. It's after then. It's after then. But you, this is the first place you encounter it, and the tank where you find it, they're actually just keeping it in a room that is apparently flooded. I honestly don't know if it's for that purpose. But let me tell you a little bit about old graphics on Glide. The voodoo cards. They could do like underwater fogging like nobody's business, and you could hear this thing coming for you before you'd even see it looming out of the murk underwater. Well, if you died, you'd sink, or alternately, if you killed it and then just started to dive to the bottom of the shaft, that thing is so deep. And I know it's not abyssal trench type deep. There's an abyssal trench in Skyrim off the north coast. If you know where I'm talking about, you know where I'm talking about. I don't think it's as deep. I don't think it's as many map units deep as that room in Half-Life. I mean, it just keeps going down and down. Of all of this stuff, everybody talks about, oh, Half-Life is a horror game and it's got this creepy stuff. There's only 2 or maybe 3 genuinely creepy places for me in Half-Life where I'm just like, okay, that's making my skin crawl a little bit. The final teleporter to the Neolanth, when you can hear echoes from the past, literal like audio echoes from the past, that's pretty creepy. The first time you start to encounter headcrab zombies, and that well in that room, it is It is just so effectively creepy. Hello, Alan Canning. And yes, Half-Life was a game changer. But you just keep going down and down and down and down. And if you make the mistake, like, hey, I've killed the ichthyosaur, I'm going to explore around. Hey, where's the bottom of this thing? Yeah, if you try and reach the bottom, you're not going to make it back up. And then when you decease, you will continue to sink and you'll find out how deep it is. And it takes you a while to get to the bottom. I tell you what, I would have loved to have seen a Half-Life movie. I mean, Hollywood in the late 90s and early 2000s, I think they would have screwed it up big time. I'm just looking at y'all's comments for a second. But anyway, to get to kind of come back around, so tomorrow Kyle will be on the show. Kyle's going to be talking about a video game that he's been digging on. And Vincent Price on the Muppet Show and Alice Cooper. Yes. When Kermit bites Vincent Price on the neck. That was priceless, man. No pun intended. So tomorrow night, we will have Kyle on. Thursday night is not per se a live stream. I mean, I'll do an intro and everything like that. I don't know that will be a keeper video that will stay up. I honestly just don't know. I might. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all the stuff over that is stacked carefully over here. And I'm going to go through it. And over here on camera 2, right there. And I'll, like, for example, I'll say, okay, John Smith, here is your art print. John Smith, this is what John Smith has won in the drawing. And then I'll draw another name. And then I'll say, Mary Jones. Mary Jones, look at this. Look at this lovely book. Mary Jones has won this lovely book here. So you guys will get a chance to look at what you may or may not have won. Oh, and you know what? You know what's happening right now for a lucky few, and I envy them just because I wish I could be there, is right now there's a Heidi and Eric are doing their demo for their Kickstarted module. And I wish I could be well, I'm glad to be here with you guys, but I mean, honestly, if somebody had knocked on the door this morning and said, here's an airplane ticket, here's accommodations, here's a car rental, I'd be like, too bad I can't do a Tuesday night show, guys. Dropped you a couple of quick videos and headed up to Lake Geneva. But y'all know I love you. Y'all know I love you. So, yeah, drawing on Thursday night. Friday night, no stream at all. I will try to run a game Friday night, Friday evening. Jorge Reeb, question, B2 is in Holmes and Mulvey boxes. You're playing it with AD&D rules, adventure modules compatible between BCMI. By and large, yes. There are some modifications. Now, I think a fair question, Jorge, is do you go module as written, Beat. I'm gonna put that up on the screen because I want to address that also. Module as written is not far off of AD&D when you use the Holmes basic version, which is what I am essentially doing. The damage curves might be a little bit differently, but it's not so much so that it is going to seriously impact gameplay. So I don't sweat it too much. There are a few things in there. There are spells and spell effects, saving throws, monster damages for larger. There are a few larger monsters in that module that I will absolutely need to readjust strictly for AD&D. But a Kobold doing 1 to 4 damage versus 1 to 8 damage doesn't really impact the game all that much. And Kabuki Kid, B2 was not originally located in Greyhawk. The whole of Keep on the Borderlands is made up whole cloth just for Keep on the Borderlands. There's no assumed setting of Keep on the Borderlands. That Tom Moldvay stuck it in the middle of this known world and then created Mystara and the realm and all of that and just expanded outward and outward and outward. That was Tom's creation. But B2 is not specifically set anywhere in Greyhawk. I asked Gary where he might put it, and he said probably somewhere in the Pomarge, which is why I have put it in the Pomarge. And let's see, ban user and delete their comments. So that's gone. My apologies, everyone, for that. I don't know, but they're gone now. So let's see. Rich S says, I've never DM'd or played online and have not DM'd since 1986. Am I a good candidate for a GUAC DM? Well, I don't know. That's something only you can answer. I mean, if you have a patient enough group, then sure. Yes, Keep was kind of retroactively folded into Mystara. Yeah, kind of essentially B-level. Yes, you have to restart somewhere. Dungeon Minister is going to run a great game. I know he is. If you guys have listened to his after actions, they're great. Yes, I use segments for combat all the time, particularly when it comes to spell casting. Spells 3 segments. Initiative is rolled. You rolled a 1, I rolled a 3. My spell goes off in the 4th segment. You might hit me still before my spell can go off. It matters. It matters. And I mean, you guys talking about mix and match, absolutely. Like my first D&D rule set was Basic and Expert Moldvay, an AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide, and AD&D Monster Manual 2, and Deities and Demigods. That is correct, Kabuki. The cover of the first printing included the notation with minor modifications. It is also suitable for use with advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and it was removed in later printings. The same applied to B1. B1 also had that appellation, and it was also later removed. But I mean, you can put it anywhere, you know. Another interesting place to put it is you can put it all the way out in the west. You kind of got to mentally flip the map. But you can put it in the far west. Not to be confused with the Kickstarter that never got fulfilled for the Kung Fu role-playing game, The Far West. I mean, Holmes is a fine way to start. It's a good starter set. Gary did actively, though, turn it into this is a starter set, but you really want to play AD&D version of D&D. And then they just broke it off into its own thing entirely with basic and expert. You see, TSR never had a problem holding out both hands for money and getting a basic and getting an advanced. And, Gary told me himself, I love saying that, especially because it's true. Gary told me himself, though, that they never tried to disabuse anyone of the notion that you could buy basic D&D and then level up your game and start playing AD&D, or that you could mix and match. Galgo says, BX, you got this. So ultimately, it comes down to you, you know. It comes down to you, and it comes down to your, to your own personal taste. I just like the taste of AD&D better than anything else. It's where the black magic is. It's like the Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath of role-playing games. And I love it. Even though Gary was not a metalhead by any stretch, people are like, yeah, Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, that's AD&D. And Gary's like, I grew up listening to jazz. Try some Ella Fitzgerald. There's a Conan story where he's a scout and a frontier. I don't know that one. There's a lot of Conan stories that I don't know, if I'm being entirely honest. No, Alan. So in the drive to make D&D more granular, and that was one thing, is Gary was never a, let's make this a medieval combat simulator. He knew that there were things that just didn't make sense, but the essence of gameplay and a fast-moving game was more important. Fighting 30 kobolds in an evening versus fighting 30 kobolds over the course of 6 months, I think you see the utility of the former over the latter. But you see, Gary's Gary's consideration was that, a 20 was very nice to see and a 1 was like, oh, shucks. Because you have the same chance of either one of them appearing on any die roll. And I mean, it's in RuneQuest by Chaosium. In a battle with 5,000 trained warriors, like 800 are going to decapitate themselves right off the bat. 800 warriors, trained warriors, experienced warriors, armed with great axes, 800 of them out of 5,000 will immediately decapitate themselves in the first round of combat. But in Dragon Magazine, they kind of introduced a good hits, bad misses. I used it for one session and never again. I found that it slowed down the game. Have a good evening, Lux. Be well. Now, there are modules and there are conditional things where sometimes a game master will say, oh, you know, that this happens if you roll a 1 or this happens if you roll a 20. But by and large, it doesn't. And I had the looks I get from people, because I never did that and I never had any desire to do it. When I would run AD&D, or when I do run AD&D sometimes, and these people come into the game and they roll, and say, oh, nat 20 max damage or nat 20 double damage. I'm like, nope. Or, you know, a 1, oh my gosh, my weapon breaks, or I drop my weapon. I'm like, no. It's usually surprise and displeasure at a nat 20 not meaning anything. I just don't do it. So I'm looking, somebody, if somebody could message Mobius, please. That would be Hunky and Dory both. What's that? And I'm going to share a link with you guys real quick before we get started in the game. It cuts both ways. There he is. If you want some merch, if you want some convention merch, if you want to buy something that says, I was at the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, I just threw the link there and I'm throwing it there right now. So you guys can go get your merch. Dungeon Minister did an absolutely fantastic job. I'm going to be buying a pint glass, I think. And they even have merch from last year still on here. So if you want to pretend that you went to last year's con, you can get shirts, you can get mugs. They have shirts and dice bags, tote bags, stickers. For both. I may have to get I may have to get some of the silk boxers just because. But this year we've got sports bras. Excellent, Ricky. That's good to hear. Did you get did you get the guacatrice or did you get the knighthood of the invisible horse? Jimmy Invictus, greetings. Good to see you. Both. Nice. So we get rolling here in just a minute. Before we jump over, any questions, any comments? The shower curtain would be, yeah, the shower curtain would be neat, but it'd cover up all my cool stuff. I should get the shower curtain though, just to drive my wife. She'd be like, no. In OD&D and Holmes, why did they make player characters record where things are stored on their character sheet? I don't know. I mean, I can see the utility of it if you're making save versus crushing blow, or, you know, you're describing where a pickpocket in a city might try to pick your pockets. All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. We're going to jump into, we have a short session tonight, guys, because I have stuff to do. My wife's actually going to a convention this weekend. Not the GUAC, sadly, but she's going to be having fun. So I've got to help her with that. Let's get started here. And let's welcome tonight's players back to the Keep on the Borderlands as they are getting ready to engage in more combat. And say good evening to Kevin as Tonstall.
Hello.
Hello.
Grimsby, played by Mark.
Hello.
Duran, played by Mobius, who plays Duran, who is played by Mobius. It's a Mobius strip joke.
Hey, how's it going?
It's not a good one, but it is a joke. Sir Standard, as played by TK. TK421, why aren't you at your post? Oh, you are at your post. And last and definitely not least, the man, the plan, the ram, the jam. Yes, he am. Vrugdorn, played by our own Doomsword Deathmaster.
Oh, hey, Doomsword made it.
What's up?
I didn't think you were going to make it. Awesome.
If you should, yes, we're closing in on 5,000. Unfortunately, we're not going to make 5,000 subs by the con. There was a goal. There was a goal, but it didn't happen. So we'll maybe set that to 10,000 and move on. All right. So, Doomsword, why don't you recap us from last week?
What's this I hear about combat?
The party is currently in the Caves of Chaos again. They are fighting against kobolds again. And there is a barrier between them and soft, squishy kobolds. And the soft, squishy kobolds have been hurling pots of burning oil at the party. So I love you guys too, Fuchsia. Thank you very much. So
we had been hacking at that, right? Yeah. And I think that's where we left off. We were hacking at that thing.
That's right.
And trying to take it
away. Yes, you are. So we're starting in a new round. Let's go ahead and get action declarations. Vrug, you just going to continue to chop at this thing?
Oh, absolutely. This makes Vrug angry.
Problem Vrug can't solve, sword. Vrug mad. Okay, what about Tonstall?
Tonstall chopstick.
Tonstall chopstick. Grimsby, Mark, Grimsby is looking down in the large common room and sees nothing there. What are you doing now?
I will run towards the entrance, yelling for Sir Standard to come and help.
All right. Duran, you are kind of hanging back in a support role. What are you doing currently?
I'm waiting to see if I can get a beat on one of them kobolds with a pot of oil.
Okay. And Sir Standard, you hear someone yelling for you as you are hanging back in a support role also. What are you going to do?
A couple of questions. One, do I have line of sight?
Currently, no. You are kind of back the corridor that curves from the northwest down to the southeast. You're sort of on that side of things. I didn't want to put your character in the thick of the fight when you yourself weren't here and say, oh, sorry, I got your character killed. So
absolutely. I would understand if you guys ever got my character killed. It happens. You killed my character accidentally before while I've been here, so it's fine. Well, I have 2 oil flasks, because that's all I can afford. So, can I prep an oil flask and move up?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right, so we will start. It looks like, Kevin, you're at the top of the order. If you would please roll initiative for us, and everybody's got the die roller to hand.
Yeah, you guys need me to share the link?
That's not the roll.
Sure.
That's a 7. That's not a 1.
That was just a test roll, right? Just
exactly. Yeah. I was making sure the roller worked.
If you rolled a 7 and a D6, I'd like to see it.
Bill does it all the time.
All right. Bear with me just a second, guys. The die roller is sort of giving me fits. I need to dip out of there and
By
we'll open
giving
it
him
back
fits,
up.
he means it was rolling only ones.
See, there's a 7 right there.
All right. It's an initiative tie. And that's a Chuck Norris roll, we call that. You know, the guy that can roll 7 on 1d6. All right. So, Vrug, you're continuing to hack. Missile fire, I'm going to say a couple of pots of oil are hurled over the top of this. Duran, you can actually see now when the kobolds pop up to throw a flask of oil. You've got line of sight, so missile fire is fairly simultaneous if you want to take a shot with your
Sling. Will do.
sling. Yeah.
If you're lucky and you peg one, maybe he'll drop the oil flask and set the barricade on fire.
Not this time.
But he did not. That was it. That was a 15. And let's see.
Ooh,
Eeny,
okay.
meeny, miny, mo.
Oh, that's, okay. So he had the 7. Okay.
Tonstall,
Of course.
Grimsby, or Tonstall or Vrug, rather. So let's see who's going to get a pot of oil thrown at them. 1, 2, 3, Tonstall. 4, 5, 6, Vrug.
Tonstall assumed it was himself.
It did. Yes, he
Just
did.
because his name was, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
As well, you should have, because you, Vrug, you are now on fire.
Come on, man.
On fire.
Those damn stage hands.
Are you walking on fire?
Vrug screams in agony as a pot of flaming oil strikes him, and you take 8 points of burnination.
Oh, come on. Yeah, well, I had 7 hit points, so.
Okay, so Vrug is on fire and goes down in a flaming heap. Tonstall, you want to try and put him out or just keep hacking?
No, I need to put him out. I need his help. So I'm going to... what do I do? I don't know.
No, you just this will put him out, right?
Yeah,
No,
it'll burn fast enough. It'll be out next round.
Throw water on the grease fire. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So I'm
no.
going to try to put him out.
Yeah, you can take your cloak and try and put him out. All right, those of you who were moving are now, you can see Vrug is down. Tonstall has extinguished the flames. So Grimsby and Sir Standard, you see Duran readying, I'm guessing, another sling stone for the next round. So Kevin, you've prevented Vrug from flaring back up. You know, you flip him over and just kind of press down on him with a spatula. What are you doing?
After that?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna hack again. I don't have any way to heal him, so I'll
All
start
right.
chopping the wood.
All right, Mark. What about Grimsby?
Can Grimsby run up and start dragging Vrug back? Out of the way?
Absolutely. Sir Standard, what are you doing?
Now do I have line of sight for my oil pot?
Yes, you can absolutely see the barrier.
Awesome. I'll wait until one pops his head up, and if I hit one with it, great. If I don't, well, I'll hit the barrier instead.
Okay. Let's roll initiative, and Mark, roll initiative.
Okie dokie. Is this the right one? That's the right one. Roll. Og.
Okay, now it is javelins. A couple pop up and throw javelins.
Yep, missile fire goes first.
And those are a pair of misses. They just kind of clatter over your heads against the wall. Counterattacks. Anyone? Sir Standard, you're throwing a flask of oil?
Sure. +1 from Dex, I presume, and I presume that'll hit.
Missile weapons, absolutely. You catch one of them dead in the face, and it shrieks, and you can roll your damage. You certainly might roll a 2.
That's 2d6, right?
That is 2d6. But
No,
you did
he is dead.
one and falls back over dead. Does Duran want to sling a stone?
No, you didn't ask me what I wanted to do last time, but
What did you want to do? I'm sorry.
I'm getting behind my shield and running up to go and lay hands on Frug.
All right, so you're casting Cure Light Wounds in this round.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Vrug is healed for 8 points. Now, Vrug was brought below 0, so he is still unconscious and will be.
Yes, he was.
He will be unconscious for a good while. But Vrug is now no longer in any danger of dying.
Stick the smelling salts directly in his nostril.
Yeah. Thanks for the heal. So, right. So, being that I were at -1, and I received 8, do I have 7 hit points now? And I'm just kind of am I back up to my full hit points and I just can't do anything from weakness?
That is correct. You were brought to death's door in a horrific way, so you will basically be you will be unconscious. But you can work. TK, you've got your men at arms. Sir Standard has his men at arms, right?
Yes, I still, provided they are still with the party. My apologies. And I presume the party had been using them, but I perceived the answer is no. They don't have any ranged weapons, so they can't really do much in that regard. Unless they want to try and advance and hack at that barrier.
Well, Vrug is, that is to say, Doomsword's character is down. Do you mind if he rolls for the men at arms?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay. So you've got a couple of proxies there. Doomsword, you got the men at arms. So in the new round, what do the men at arms do?
Well, I'll leave that up to. I'll make the rolls and leave that up to.
Well, let's send them in. You know.
All right.
I thought you would have had them in front of the party to begin with. So yeah, let's send them in.
Yeah, cool. And I don't even know what those guys have. They have what, spears or something?
They have
spears.
Sword,
Yes,
sword and board.
Oh, okay. They're sword and board.
At least according to my notes, they have AC 7, D8 sword, and that's basically about it. 6 hit points.
Right. Yeah. So I assume they'll just be in the front line and take the space of the fallen warrior and continue to attack or whatever. I'll roll for them. Thanks.
Yep.
Alrighty. Kevin Tonstal has extinguished Vrug. Duran has run up and healed Vrug, so he looks less horrible, or rather, no more horrible than he did before he got hit with the flaming oil. So
it's still pretty ugly.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Tonstal's going to keep hacking.
All right. Mark, what about Grimsby?
Using his sling, I guess, is suppressive fire.
Okay.
Trying to hit anything.
Sir Standard, are you throwing another flask of oil?
What does the burning oil from last turn do? So it would do a follow do a follow-up D6. So do we want to roll to see if that splashes on the barricade?
No, you hit you hit one kobold. You caught it dead in the face, and the D6 is entirely redundant. I mean, if you want to roll it to see how much additional damage it does to the kobold that has burned to a crisp already, you certainly may.
Okay, so well, I was hoping it would splash on the barricade, but if that's the case, do I have any idea as to how many are behind the barricade?
None at all.
None at all.
I mean,
okay.
you have no idea at all. Rather,
Okay. So then, I guess I will hang back with my bow and hopefully pop another one if it comes as it comes up. That'll be the hope. I won't get both shots. I take it, but I'll get one.
okay.
Yeah, that was a question. Sorry.
Oh no, I mean you'd get your normal rate of fire.
Okay.
Every round. There's no reason it would be less.
Ooh. Okay. Very generous of you. Thank you. All right. And all right. So that's it. Bow for me.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and roll initiative. And I think Mark, have you rolled already?
Yes.
All right. Then we're over to Sir Standard. Please roll a d6.
Absolutely. Let's see. There you go.
All right. Once again, 2 kobolds pop up and hurl javelins.
Right.
I don't know why that was rolled, but
Oh, sorry. I thought I was the 6 for a minute there, but I forgot I was. Yep. We're good.
no, I was the 6.
Yep.
All right. Those are marginal enough that they do not hit anyone. They pop up and hurl javelins. Now, those of you with missile weapons may counter fire against the kobolds.
Word.
That will miss.
Damage with a sling stone.
13.
That'll hit an AC of 8. Actually, it will hit. It'll be better than that. It'll hit me an AC of 5.
They do have a little bit of cover, but that is still sufficient. That is still sufficient.
Sweet. And that gives me 2 to 5. I hit somebody for 4 points of damage.
There is kobold brains and duramatter all over the ceiling and walls as your slingstone intersects its head and it goes down with a grunt. Just kind of falls over the wall. Any other missile fire? Duran?
Nope.
Do you want me to roll my second one now or later?
Yes. Go ahead and roll it now.
Okay. I never know that with those because I rarely ever use them. Nope.
Last. And go ahead and roll for the 2-minute arms to hack to excuse me, keep hacking on the wall.
Let's see. Can they cut?
Constable, please. Damage. I mean damage, not to
hit. You missed the wall.
Yeah.
My players ask me that all the time when I do this kind of thing as well. It's like, do I have to roll to hit? It's like, no, you hit the wall. It's easy.
All right, so that's a 1, and roll for the other. That's a 4, and Tonstal, you want to roll your damage? Kevin?
Oh, I'm muted, damn it. That was my damage there, Bill. I didn't roll for the minimum arms. So it should have been +3 for strength.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's 7.
All right, Doomsword, roll for the men at arms.
Right. Just damage.
Just damage.
Yeah, and that's a 1d8.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The first one.
I got a 6.
And the second one.
Is a 3, so that's a 9. This thing is definitely starting to it's starting to give way. under the repeated blows. You think maybe in the next round it might come down, but you're not 100% sure. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. And I think we're over to Duran. Uh-oh, we lost someone.
Yeah, I didn't go last time either. I wanted to move towards the edge of the barrier in the wall and see if there's a crack or an edge or an opening or anything.
They kind of have the logs fully against the wall, so no, you don't see anything. But you're now against the. You're now up to the barrier. So in the new round, what do you wish to do?
I guess I'm going to be hacking at the wall too, or pushing on the wall with my shield, like pushing up against it.
Okay. All right. So that's 4 people assaulting the wall, and a couple of folks missiling at any kobolds that pop over.
Here's the initial rule. You still want
yeah. Okay. You see a couple more kobolds with javelins. Those of you with missile weapons can take a shot at them.
Grimsby will shoot and gets the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it hit last time, and I roll and get 4 points damage.
Yeah, this one just flops back over the wall with a wet cough as your sling stone encounters its face. Sir Standard, you want to fire your first arrow?
Absolutely.
That will hit.
You want my second one too?
No, just the first one.
Okie dokie. And sorry for changing my color. I just realized I could do that. All right. Dead kobold.
Dead kobold. Just nothing that will induce more patterns for our 0.001% of our users who still have tube monitors, right? Okay. So the kobold that is still up on the wall throws a javelin at the ever deadly Grimsby and misses badly. Clatter. Those of you hacking away, please let's see some damage rolls.
We'll start with tonsils, guys.
All right.
We'll just go down the area.
It's a 4. 1 plus 3. I don't know if I'm lagged or what.
There's general lag, it seems.
Okay.
That's actually
I got these
down.
2 men at arms. Is it their turn?
All right.
Yes.
It is their turn. Oh my, that's a 6.
And the second one gets a 2.
That is an 8. So with a resounding crash, this barrier comes down. Looking startled and horrified, there are the smaller, lighter-skinned kobolds, and they are all the smaller, lighter-skinned kobolds, although they're kind of wearing the leathern jacks of the larger, darker red kobolds that you saw the last time you were in the kobold caves, and they kind of swim in them. They're very big, and they all look kind of startled and terrified. They dragged and stacked the dead kobolds like cordwood, except for the one that was burned to a crisp. It's kind of shoved off, but you can see there's at least like 8 of them milling about here. And when they see you and see their barrier fall.
Can I get my second shot on one of them?
Yes, you absolutely can.
13 or 73?
Nope.
73.
Yeah, it just, big crash of wood and dust flying up. You release an arrow. Let's see. they're just screaming and running about. Some of them are like dropping their cleavers and clubs and running to the east. Others are throwing themselves prostrate on the ground. Folks, particularly if you're doing public speaking, remember the second R, prostrate. What are you guys doing? They appear to be a disorganized rabble that doesn't seem hell-bent on fighting you. What are the men-at-arms doing?
I mean, I would assume they're just going to put them to the sword, right? I mean, wouldn't that be a normal reaction in this sort of situation for prostrate opponents? I mean, what are you going to do? Right. Let's just assume these guys are neutral, sword through the back, whatever.
Yeah, I still say if we kill all of our prisoners, others will be less likely to surrender. But
I mean, those are your men at arms. So if you think differently, I mean, I'm just trying to think about the general perception.
How many are alive?
You saw some scatter down the hall. There are 4 or 5 that have thrown themselves on the floor, and there are a few that are still looking defiant and clutching javelins and growling and chittering at you.
Okay, so to those that have surrendered, I guess. God, I should not be the one doing this. I don't have a good charisma score, but
it's better than mine.
Surrender and you walk. Just surrender right now, and you can walk. Just right out the door behind us. Just keep going. You can leave with your lives. We don't, my men will happily kill you, but I'd rather you just walk.
Okay, well, even the ones holding their weapons, they throw their weapons down and they make kind of pathetic growling, yipping noises and point back down the hallway and start kind of sidling that way.
Back down the hallway, as in to the exit?
Back down the hallway to the east, not past you towards the exit.
I guess I'll speak very slowly. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, does anyone here speak Kobold?
I speak Kobold.
All right, they're all saying the pups. Let us get our pups.
Sure. If that's related to me.
Well, you're the one talking. I'm just translating.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So if you are translating,
I have a 6 charisma, right? So.
They might try and stab you on their way out just because.
Yeah, I'm doing this guy a favor.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. If you bring weapons back with you, or if you bring treasure back with you, we will flay you alive.
Okay. So there is, in short order, a large caravan of kobolds coming back, and I'm going to ask everybody in order. We're going to start with Tonstal. Roll a d20 for me when you see this very hastily assembled convoy coming by. Must be lagging again, because I'm sure you've already rolled it by now, right?
No, I was on mute.
Okay. Sir Standard?
Absolutely. Can I ask them to jump as they walk by?
Sir Standard, there is a kobold in the vanguard in the midst of these. That is very obviously one of the darker skinned, one of the more brick redder skinned kobolds, kind of stooped over with a cloak pulled over its head sort of trying to hunch down and look small. That is clearly not one of the female kobolds. It has like 2 bundles in its arm like some of the others do. Yeah, it's not carrying pups, and it's not female. The others are.
Let's just lay my hands on him. I'm not gonna immediately hurt him.
All right, give me a D20 roll, because I mean there's a large group of kobolds. So,
yeah, modifier if it helps.
Of his neck, and he drops his 2 bundles, and there's a clanking of coins, and so on and etc. So yeah, you've got him.
Cool. Translator, if you'd be so kind, can you ask him to spill the beans here?
I translate. Tell him to tell us what the hell's going on here with this the darker kobold.
Yeah, I mean this is a big kobold. He's like almost the size of a goblin, which for a kobold is pretty large. He realizes the jig is up and says in Kobold, "I was just bringing you treasure as Weregild," and reluctantly drops 2 bundles, and then immediately like clutches his cloak around him like that.
Okay. To make my friends happy here, because I did promise something, tell all the women to watch.
He says, "My wives, they want you to watch something." And the ones filing by, holding pups and whatnot, stop and turn and look.
I'm going to have the men-at-arms hold him spread eagle, and I'm going to blood eagle this kobold in front of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if nobody is intervening...
I don't know if we got time for that.
It's two axe blows to the back. You reach in, you pull out the lungs. It takes less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I understand where you're schedule.
Birds too tired to care.
And when you do this, you can see, he's wearing a large, crude gold chain around his neck.
Cool.
That has a key on it. He was clearly trying to hide that.
Cool. Take that too.
And people wonder why kobolds are evil. It's because they get treated like this.
Well, I gave him the ultimatum. Don't walk out with treasure and don't walk out with weapons. He walked out with treasure and he tried to hide it.
It's a cycle of violence. And he also had a battle axe under his cloak, too. So
I would have probably killed him with his own axe then. All right. Drop the body. Let the rest go.
Okay. So long story short, the females leave. Now you had 5 or 6 females that you killed. I don't remember. At the wall, I should say, because the rest of them are just they're getting the frig out of there. If you search their bodies, do you search their bodies?
Of course.
Sure.
Okay. So that's 5.
And the coinage and the gold chain.
Right. So you get a total of 12 silver pieces from the 5 females. Jimmy says, "I did not see a spontaneous blood eagling happening tonight. Neither did I."
Available for fun. What do you want?
So what he was carrying was basically his cloak was an old blanket wrapped around him. There were 50 gold pieces sewn into the hem. And the chain looks, it's made of a lot of raw gold. This is a really valuable looking chain. And as I said, there is a key on it.
Constable, hands off.
Okay.
Sorry. Wrong one.
Yeah.
Small Irishman, hands off.
No, you said Tonstal. I'm fine. I'll take the key though. You found the chain. That's fair and square. You found the chain. I'll take the key.
That's valid.
Okay. And the kobolds were coming from the east.
Do I remember correctly that at the end of this little north corridor, there's a door to the west?
Yes, there is a door to the west.
All right. I'll go ahead and put on the gold chain.
I'll go take a listen at that western door.
Okay.
Who's holding the 50 GP for now?
I missed part of what you said. What was that? 50 what?
I said who's holding the 50 GP for now?
It strangely broke off in the same exact place.
Who's holding 50 gold pieces?
That's fine. I'll hold it. That's just
Okay.
executive decision.
I can hold it. It's no problem. I just want to know what I'm holding.
I know.
I heard 50 blank P, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's what I heard too.
Who's holding Rug's crispy
hold it.
skin?
I'll hold it for the time being.
Okay.
Okay, so
Let's go check out where the pups were being held.
now when they left, they all came from the east. None of them had gone to your left, that is to the west. They all came down the long corridor that goes to the east when they fled with all their young. God.
Not to be a small stickler for details, but what about the 2 sacks that kobold was holding?
That just like a half-eaten wheel of cheese, some pieces of kobold finery, which is to say, cheap leather crap, stuff like that. Just clearly his,
Okay, sorry. Continue.
catnip, that kind of thing. All right, so you listen at the door to the west. You don't hear anything. Grimsby.
Is the door locked? Try to open it.
It is locked.
I've got a key. See if the key works.
Do we want to open this, or we want to deal with Rug first? But
Well, Mark already said he's opening the lock,
Okay.
so
all right.
And besides, Vrugel, he'll wake himself up eventually.
this is a 30 by 20 chamber, and there are all kinds of goods stacked in here. There's food, there's barrels, there's crates. None of it's a particularly high quality stuff, but it's usable.
Okay. We can come back here and get some stuff if we need it then.
Had we seen this before?
There was another storeroom nearer to the entrance with the pit, but
Right.
when we came back this time, it was empty. I bet you they moved it all up here.
So the humanoid corpses are in here or not?
No, there are not butchered humanoid corpses here.
Okay, so not all of it.
Can we lock the door from the inside?
Good question.
I mean, if you go in the room and lock the door, yes, you absolutely can.
And we can hang out here and we don't have to go all the way back all the time.
Agreed.
Interesting, yeah.
Also, another option that we might do. Do you think we could turn one of the doors into a sled and drag some of this stuff back to sell? This might have come from a merchant or two that might want some of these goods back.
Yeah, I say before we leave, we can take an inventory of some kind. But there's another passage that way where the pups were being kept. There might be more down there.
Mm-hmm.
kill them all.
Okay. So who's going to the east then to explore?
May as well. Well, I'll go. I can at least detect. Doing a perfunctory search. Can I detect any secret doors or anything? While this is going on?
No, you do not detect any secret doors.
Okay. Well, I'll go. May as well for the same reason.
All right, so this corridor is about, you feel like it's maybe 80 feet long, but at the 60-foot mark, it actually opens into a 20 by 20 room. And on the north and east side of the, or that is on the east side, on the north half of the wall, there is a 10-foot wide passage that goes further to the east.
Yep. Okay.
And that 10 feet in terminates in a door that is, it is closed, obviously. It's a door.
I'll listen at it again, just to be cautious.
And no secret doors here either?
No secret doors there either. And Mark, the only thing Grimsby hears is the sound of termites.
I will open the door.
Give me a D6 roll, please.
Oh, maybe I won't because I'm a weakling.
A 1 or a 2, right?
My stubby little halfling arms.
Yeah. Nope.
Well, Rug, do you want to try? Or you want me to?
Let me do it. He's
I'm too weak.
yeah, let me do it. I'll try to open it.
One of those bastards got me in the gut.
I've got the 1 through 3 if it helps.
Same here, and I got a
Got
5.
you in the face, and the chest, and the thighs, and the arms, and the knees, and the top of your head.
I do my best
no.
to like hold Brug up.
The
You guys
doors,
are-
doors are like
None of us can open this door.
doors
One
are
of
like
them
the
at
hardest thing in Dungeons and Dragons. Doors. There we go.
One of
They
the
are,
men at arms
genuinely.
and says, "I think you need to pull it, sir," and drags the door open.
Oh,
Cool
shit.
for the gifted. Thanks. Midville.
I'm going to look at it
the
until he's
gifted.
fired.
Yeah.
All right, so this room is 30 feet to the east and 20 feet to the south in size. It's the nicest looking room in the Kobold lair you've found thus far, which isn't saying much. There is a very hastily overturned actual wooden bed. You know, it's child size, so you know it would have fit like a half dozen kobolds for an orgy. There's a chair in one corner that has been festooned with carvings and drawings and a straw filled sack for a cushion. It kind of reminds you of a throne almost, and you see a wooden box underneath it.
I
It's
dragged
the
that wooden box out.
It's the Blarney box.
All right.
He thought he was
Have
a
fun being
king.
the thief.
It belonged to the keeper of the royal stool.
Yeah.
It's covered with yellow mold, ochre jelly, a poison needle.
You should take a sample of it.
Yes, be careful.
It
It's
turns
also
into
a
a
mimic.
black pudding.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a chest that is locked.
The same key doesn't fit into it, right? Probably.
Actually, it does.
Woo! It's so easy being a thief. Click.
Right.
I'm going to keep this key and try it in every lock for the rest of the game.
Do you want to search that for traps first?
No, Grimsby did not think of that. He'll learn his lesson.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. So within, there's actually a great heap of copper coins. You can see silver and silverish coins different hue of silver sort of mixed in, but the bulk of it appears to be copper.
Is this like a small little box? Or
It's a
big
wishing
box?
well when you need one.
It weighs about 30 pounds, maybe.
Okay. Well, I can help carry it back to the keeps, and we can count it there.
Cool.
It looks like it might have my favorite coins in there, Electrum.
I think if they're
Electric
your
coins?
favorite kind of coin, we need to have a long, long conversation involving me, a table leg, and your brain.
Okay, well, are you guys doing anything else here in the Kobold lair?
I think we should get back to the keep.
So is that
no-
thing cleared out? I mean, that was it.
Yeah, there's nothing really otherwise of interest in the room.
Any secret doors?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess let's party. Do we want to make a sledge and drag back some of these food stores? See if the keep is missing any of these things, or worst comes to worst, sell it for a few gold.
For sure. Sounds
Yeah.
like a plan. Put the loot on there too. Then we got to figure out which way those kobolds went. We get outside.
Okay, so in the time that it takes you, greetings, Deadly Dungeon Master. In the time that it takes you to assemble this rough sledge, you are able to get Vrug. Finally, you're feeling like you can get up and move around. You're not going to be engaging in any combat, but at least you can
Sure.
walk.
Right.
You pick out the best looking stuff from the storeroom, which is a few bags of wheat, couple wheels of cheese, and a small keg of wine. That's like the best stuff in there. The rest of it's like, flattened dried bat jerky.
Bat jerky.
Don't eat any bat jerky, please.
Chicken of the cave.
Hey, keep the wine coming, boys.
All right.
This is the Kobold wet market. Okay. Yeah.
So that's
get
where
out of here.
COVID started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, demonetized. I was avoiding that.
And somebody super me that this video's got to pay for.
No, he was depersonalized. Him specifically, not you. His social credit score just went down 400 points.
I think if that's the only thing that gets this stream demonetized, not the blood eagling, we'll see.
Yeah, right.
People don't know what blood eagling is except in RPGs.
So, at any rate, you pile up your loot. You haul it back to the keep. Nothing untoward happens in the journey back. It's only a couple of hours. Doesn't take a doesn't take a full day segment to get you back. The guards kind of recognized you at this point, so they let you in, and you have all this loot. What do you've got the blankets?
Well,
I can talk to the trader shopkeeper. I've got the charisma, and see what he'll give it for the cheese and wine. Maybe we'll keep the wine. Actually, that might be good.
What are you asking for?
You want some wine?
Well, let's probably sell that because that's going to be the highest ticket item.
Yeah. Small
but
yes.
And the gold necklace as well.
The gold chain.
Yeah.
Is there like a jeweler in town?
Actually, it's the money lender would be the person who would buy that.
Okay. So I want to talk to the money lender for the chain, but the trade goods, we'll go to the trader.
All right. how much do you want for the supplies?
Mark has no idea. Do we know?
Genuinely, yeah.
Yeah, no idea. A bag of wheat.
Okay. He offers you 10 gold pieces for the lot.
Sure. Sounds great.
Why not?
All right. It's good wine. The kobolds chewed the grapes themselves. Thank you, Jorge.
Fermented kobold spit.
What kind of wine was that again? I'll make sure that when I see it at the tavern, I steer clear of that kind.
Thin and watery, but
Yeah,
all
by the
right.
time we get back to the tavern, they've already sold it, and we're going to be served it. And then at the you said the money changer. We'll see about selling off this gold chain.
Yeah, what can we get for that?
Okay, so at the loan bank, basically he offers you hang on a second. He offers you 1,080 gold pieces for the chain.
You drive a hard bargain, but sure.
All right. He brings it, sets up bags of gold.
Cool.
Sir Standard and Tonsil, I will need your assistance.
Absolutely.
To make sure we are not robbed before
Absolutely.
we do this.
All right. Now let's
Yeah, I'll
divide.
security guard this if I need to.
Okay.
Let's divide this up amongst our fellows here, and
So-
maybe
We have a total of. I'm going to ignore the 12 silver pieces. We'll buy some booze with that. We have 1140 gold pieces.
Wow.
How many people are we?
There's 7 with men at arms, but
No.
we got to determine how they get their share, right?
One,
We gave them a
two,
share last
3, 4,
time, but
5.
that's not part of the default.
correct.
Grimsey's not going to argue about how it gets divided, but I have a calculator and I know I need to know what number to put in. So someone tell me how many shares we do.
Number of party members +1 for the fund, I think.
Okay.
Actually, no. Let's not worry about the fund at this point. We're too poor.
No.
So number of party members.
So
It's
it's
just
5.
Yep.
200. Oh, that's a surprisingly even number. 228 gold pieces each.
Awesome. All right. So that's going to be 231. All right. From
And,
total.
and Bill, the
Mhm.
loan bank man, does he offer strong boxes to store money in?
Yes, there is a monthly fee for keeping funds like that. Hang on a second, and I will let you know.
Mark, Doomsword, Mobius, etc. I'm going to walk up to each one of you, basically hold my hand out and say 1 gold coin, please. I'm going to collect 1 gold coin each and split that between the followers,
Sounds good.
basically, so that like one gets 3, the other gets 3. Sound good? I'll defray the other cost as far as that goes.
Okay.
That way they, That way they get 3, and they're each they've been paid. Does that please them, DM?
Yes, they're completely happy with that. They came back alive. So let's see.
See you guys tomorrow. Don't spend it all in one place.
Essentially, the banker's rates are you can keep your wealth stored safely at no charge if it's left for at least a month. Otherwise, there's a 10% fee.
Oof.
10%. That's highway robbery.
Yeah. I will take this money that we just divvied up. I'll give him 220 gold pieces and say, please hold this for me.
Of course, my lord.
Hey, oh well.
So,
and then there was 12 silver pieces left over. Let's all go to the bar and order rounds of drinks, rounds of beers.
let's all go to the black. Let's all go to the black main. Let's all go to the black main and watch Rogue get drunk.
Yep.
I already been there. I
Okay.
ain't leave until I feel better.
86. Somebody's dying.
Missed it by that much.
I guess
For the
about getting my hands on some splint.
That's some serious alcohol poisoning.
Oh, hold on, guys. I forgot something. We have a bucket of coins. So I guess back at the bar, I'm going to be counting up all those coins in that box.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
sorry I interrupted you, TK. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Box of coins is what I've got. It's probably all pennies.
Yeah, copper, sorry, probably some electrum in there.
So what you get is 203 copper, 61 silver, and 22 electrum.
Woo.
Okay.
And all that will be factored in when we give out experience points at the next Dungeons and Dragons game, which will be 2 weeks from tonight, because as I said, I am taking vacation next week.
Oh, nice.
Then I'm just going to laze around the house, but
Best
Oh,
kind.
staycations are fun.
staycation, exactly. Cost me $0, and I get to just stroll back here at 8:00 and go, oh, look at the time, and then turn right back around and go back out into the den.
Don't worry, we'll DM for you, Bill.
Without
That's no problem.
pants.
Oh, okay, you guys. It's
Yeah.
part of that Brew SR. Your campaign goes on whether you're running it or not
Whether
mindset.
the DM's there. Yeah, you don't have to have a DM these days, right? You just play.
Yeah.
And the players play the DM. They just take turns.
Alan wants to know. Here's a question before we wrap. He says, "Did I fast track the players to the keep for brevity?" I did not. I actually rolled dice behind the screen here to see if they had any wilderness encounters on their way. And since they didn't say, "Yeah, we're just going to wander off through the woods to get back to the keep," I actually assumed that they were staying on the high road. And as it happens, there was no encounter as they went. So yeah. Well, thank you for de-lurking, B-Level. I hope you enjoyed it. Jimmy says, I heard that is laser around the house. I can do that too. I have a laser pointer somewhere.
Chat's gonna go crazy.
So I know many of the folks playing in tonight's game are going to be at the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. I hope you, dear audience, are all going to be there. And please, you can step up and run more games. All right. I have decided that I will be running, at the very least, an AD&D and an OD&D session at the GUAC. Because I know some of you folks were waiting to play in a couple of games that got canceled. I feel like we've had more people who've had to cancel for various reasons, and I don't begrudge them. It happens. I understand that. Then we have active game masters right now, so I'm going to step up. I'm going to run some games. It's my con. I should anyway. Hopefully I will see everyone there. We'll be back tomorrow evening. Kyle will be in attendance, and he'll tell us all about some dumb fun he's having with a computer game right now. Alan is looking forward to Doomsword's game. That's excellent. It's going to be a lot of fun. I recused myself. I didn't think it would be seemly if I went in and scooped up a cash prize, being as I am the founder of the con itself. So you all should have a lot of fun. One day I'll get into a game that you don't have a prize on Doomsword and actually get to play with you as the game master. So thank you to my players for being here tonight. I know we're cutting it off early, but I have some things that I have to tend to. Next time, we'll be back to the full 2 hours. Thank you to the audience. Thank you guys for your supers tonight. You're all super. And I love you all, and I will see you all next time. But until then, as always, you know, we do ask this question because it's very important. And I would point out also that if you haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button, click the like button, click the bell icon for notifications. And regardless of what you do, please let me know. Have you by any chance seen my owl bear?
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.